Well, thank you, Tiffany, for coming on the red carpet round table with myself and my co-host Daryl. We'd like to welcome you.
Yes, welcome to the red carpet round table.
Thank you for having me. It's wonderful seeing you again.
Thank you. Yes. Tiffany, what attracted to you to begin your acting career?
I think I wanted it since I was little because my late aunt was a famous celebrity singer. And, but I really shy. I would follow her everywhere. And I get very timid, but I got to meet a lot of people. And when I came over here, that's when I really decided that I wanted to do it. But my language skill was poor, and I'm learning disabled. It took a long time for me to learn anything and everything. So I put that aside. So I start studying dance here and there. But dance is not very practical, and the only thing you can do with it is be a teacher, which I also regret not doing because the time that I was in high school, like toward my senior year, they laying off teachers in Boston like crazy. It like that job is like out, so and most people don't even go for it. And people they look say like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And even my dance teacher told me not to do it, not to go into it. That's what she says. So I study business. I this and when I get older, have my career going, I went back to dancing. And after I have my daughter, it's like that's it. I give up. I start taking I can't delay it any longer. So when she was in first grade, I start taking class like once a week, once every 2 weeks, something like that in New York City. And then just one thing lead to another.
That's amazing. How was your transition from New York? I mean, let's start with this. This is a two-part question. While in New York as an actress, what were you doing? Then you already in film, in theater? How and what made you want to transition to LA?
Well, the thing is, first, the weather.
Right.
And I always wanted to move to California even when I was young because of at that time, my paternal side, they still, when they were alive, they live here and I was close to them. But, my mother decided to stay with her family in the Northeast. And I never really learned how to drive, really. So I moved to New York City, which was great because you can go to the beach, you can go to your beach house without driving. There's train take you everywhere, and then all you do is just walk, and this was great for a while. And the education up there, like the dancing and the acting education, was also wonderful. And as I get older, I think have developed arthritis. And then I was working as a school psychologist. It wasn't easy then, I have my summer off, but 3 weeks during the year, which was pretty good, but it's still tough. And just like one time, I think I texted one of my relative out here, a younger one of my relatives, and I said like, oh, I wish I could be out there because my arthritis is getting to me. And then when I retired from being a school psychologist, I took this course. It's like I just fell tumble into it, LA or New York. And I said, that sounds interesting. And I auditioned for it. I got in. I flew out here for like a week. And they told me, they also said, like, this is the best area to live is blah, blah, blah. Living now. And I met these actors. They said they never have a car. They just have a scooter, and that's it. And the following Thanksgiving, I flew my family out here, and we go on the metro and look out. And I was like, okay, let's move out here then. And the following year, we sold our home and move out here.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
It is. I mean, I thought
Well,
it was normal, but some people told me, yes, you're really brave to do that. But I just feel like I should. It's time.
Well, you followed your dream.
Yes, and I also miss New York too. There's acting there, but it's not as much for me as it would be here. Here, there's
Yeah.
more Asian people, like Asian Wolf Film Festivals. The last 2 weeks, I went on at least five of them from Asian World Film Festival. One is independent, but it's also connected, and another one is for like a benefit bash last night. So the past
Fun.
2 weeks have been really, really busy, but it's wonderful. And I, like I mentioned before, I do have my talk show that's paused right now, Filter 90211, and I'm studying to be a better TV host with Diane
Wow.
Foster.
Wow.
So when does that come out?
We're probably going to start again in January. I mean, the old one is still on YouTube channel under Anton Pictures.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
We
Uh,
look forward to seeing you soon as a
yes.
talk host again.
Yes, yeah, that's right. I think my co-host would like to invite you, right? Did he ever contact you? Did Chris ever contact?
No, he hasn't contacted me or any of us, but
Yeah, yeah,
I would love to have him
yeah.
contact us.
He needs to stop right now for a while, but we probably gonna come back, and he probably will contact you after the new year.
Yes,
And
please.
also at the film festival, want to hear something funny? I was so busy one day, and I forgot to steam my dress and my shawl, and I did that. I got there late. I missed it, my short film, my own short film. But the lead actress was there, and we stayed there. We took a picture. We gave interview, and that was fun. and and I gave interview on the red carpet on closing night about that film.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Tiffany, what is the most difficult challenges that any actress would face that you have experienced as yourself, your own story, going through being in this industry so far?
Well, as you know, it's very, very difficult. We can't rely on it to make a living, unless you have a trust fund or your parents pay millions of dollars on publicity. And as you know, it's tough. Like you have to. So what I did is work I worked as a school psychologist. I probably want to go back now because I did love the ideology of it. Maybe
Hmm.
not the organization in New York City, but I like the idea of it very much. And I retire. I have my pensions, and I live out here now, so that helps. And I probably would like to go back again because here it's pretty nice too.
Hmm.
I think the
Do you,
the public school out here appears to be somewhat nicer.
hmm
Hmm.
Do you notice, a follow-up question is, do you notice as a lot of actors and young actresses that you met in this film industry are also finding another job as well?
Oh yeah, they all do. They have to.
Hmm.
They have to. Everybody's. And the funny things about it is it's not that's not so bad as when we discuss about certain thing. Like I said, if you're serious about it, maybe you should get a job with a pension, certain job. It take
Hmm.
20 years and you have a pension, and these people they they don't want to take acting class. They don't want to really work too hard. They say, I don't want to waste 20 years working. And I said, you might end up wasting 55 years working before you can retire.
Right.
Right, right, right. And
But I didn't say that.
right, but
No.
a lot of I know Daryl can probably say the same, agree with me because a lot of actors you have to find a part-time job because you're acting,
I'm
but
mostly
you
full
never know.
time.
You get a phone call and say, "Hey, I need you here," and and you're like, "Oh no, okay, I'll be there," right? And that's good because you can kind of move around their schedule.
Yeah, yes, but you know what? The theater one can be tough because the casting told me, the casting director, the one in New York, we were sitting around. They said like some of them are really phenomenal, but when we travel, they couldn't give up their jobs.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think, even just here where we live, you know, people would much rather be on set of a film that they may or may not be getting paid for and lose their job just so they can have the opportunity to be on set. And I just think, as adults, that may not be the best decision because you have to survive somehow.
Hmm.
You cannot, you cannot just this unless you make it, and that's probably within the 10% of
No,
people who
2%.
2%. Yeah,
2%. And I think within that 2%, a large number, which I rather not say how many, but if you force me, I will not make no more than 26,000 a year.
right.
So
Right.
they struggle. They rent room and they live, they struggle and it's okay if that's what they like. And of course people like their work, but they also have, jobs. So a lot of them are brokers, Uber drivers, some of them. A lot of people in the theater, I belong to a theater. They're teachers and so they can do theater at night, and that's what I did. I used to belong to a theater called Love Creek in New York City, but they closed now, but it was lovely.
Wow.
Wow.
Acting is just tough. I mean, even here with me living in Oklahoma, it's just tough in general. I couldn't imagine what it's like living in LA where the gas prices and home prices and just living, eating in general, on top of trying to pursue your dream at full speed. We don't get very far at a medium or slow speed when it comes to this industry.
Yes, but as you know, Hollywood they're cleaning out quite a bit now. I think they're really doing all kind of things. So not too many people get auditions or whatsoever. But it's okay. I study, TV hosting and I like it.
Yeah. Can
Right.
I ask why are they cleaning out? Like what's happening? In that area, is it just because what's happening now in this day and time, or okay, you don't have to answer. The look tells me everything. Carry on.
I don't want to name any name, but if you force me, then I will
No,
because
no, no.
of certain things.
No,
And
Ryochi, it's go right ahead.
Right. I know, no. I was like, I knew what you were trying to ask, Daryl, but I was like, okay. And then, no, Tiffany, I totally understand. You're good.
I got the assignment, Tiffany. Thank you. Thank you.
Tiffany, you were on Blue Bloods,
yeah,
and how was it like being on set?
first I auditioned for it, gruesome audition, and the final casting director. I took workshops with her for like a couple of times already, long works, and the audition very gruesome. And when I get there, I have to be on set at 5 o'clock in the morning. So that means 2 o'clock here in LA. And it was wonderful because they're very supportive.
Yeah.
And also the makeup artist told me that she was told not to put any makeup on me or whatsoever.
Wow.
Wow. And why is that?
Because I'm only a co-star and I'm only the role I play is supposed to be, a certain role, and I will be opposite of a woman, the lead.
Hmm.
But that gave me confidence, really,
That's
That's
good.
awesome.
to walk around barefaced. At first, I was embarrassed because I ran into someone I knew right on the street. But she got there to watch the set of Blue Blood, and then just ran into me. She go, "Oh my God!" I said, "Hello."
As far as your schooling, what type of classes have you done? Workshops? Here so far you've mentioned that you've taken workshops. Or what type of workshop or classes have you done that you feel like that have helped you excel in your career?
I always do. Like it's that's like nonstop. Like scene study, private coaching. That's like must. a lot of scene study and, audition classes.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And I get to take classes for free at the theater, like scene study.
Wow.
So that's something that you must do. It's not like you cannot just walk on the street and say, I decide to become an actor. Put me on
Right.
set. I'm so
Hmm.
wonderful.
Right, right.
Best of luck with that. They don't even want you for extra. Even that extra, they want you to audition for the lead to make sure that you know what you're doing. Happened to me.
I
Not the
believe
lead,
it.
like a supporting role, but and they really auditioned me. And I said, like, you really want to audition me? I don't speak the language. This you have to be bilingual in other language. And at the end, no, you don't. No, this is not what you're signing for. But would you mind coming there and just sit there and be the extra? Because they don't want to tell people what to do.
Yeah.
You understand my point? Like my auto film on Accidental Getaway Driver, it hasn't come out yet, but it won a couple great award
Hmm.
and I auditioned two roles, each in two different languages. And then I know, and then the callback. When they give me a callback, I didn't believe that the film would happen because like 5 months afterward, five, six
Wow.
months at least, or no, even longer, 6.5 months. And and when I got in, it's like very, very little directing, very little.
What languages, if you mind me asking?
My language, yeah, I spoke Vietnamese in Accidental Getaway Driver, but you have to really audition for both languages.
Wow.
Wow.
That's how it is. And it's the same when I did my Vietnam. That movie somehow never get anywhere, but it is a long movie. At least three audition in persons in two different languages.
Wow. That's a lot.
When you say two different languages, English, Vietnamese,
Yeah,
gotcha.
like like you have to like have to say something in this then say the others and even I'm in the theater now working on this scene. She said she wanted me to speak Vietnamese. My teacher just make up something and then go into English. And you know what? I video myself sell and I sent it to the author. She said she liked it. I didn't, but she said she liked it. So well, whatever. So she said she wanted me to do it in Vietnamese as well.
Okay,
Wow.
that's awesome.
That's awesome. Do you do you like theater or on stage the most?
You mean on stage or on set? You mean?
On staff, I mean on set, I'm sorry. On set.
I like both. You can't compl.
Well, the reason I ask you because I know a lot of actors they like theater because if you make a mistake, you can continue, right? It's their audience is watching, and I
Oh
know
yes.
a lot of actors they say that's good for beginners to be on theater because that's how you can practice,
Yeah, yeah,
say your lines. If you make a mistake, the other cast members will just laugh and make something up, and they just continue, and the audience
yeah.
doesn't know you're making a mistake. And I heard a lot of beginners say they love it because when they go on set,
Hmm.
on camera, you make a mistake, the director's like, "No, no, wrong line. Cut, cut. Wait, wait, wait." And you feel like, "Oh no, what's happening?" And you have to memorize the line. But that's why I was curious because I think Darrow can kind of go with this because Daryl, my co-host, is an actor and is you as well, Tiffany. But like a lot of like I said, a lot of actors like stage the most because it's like it kind of gets rid of your nervous. You have the audience, you have the people cheering, and if you have your co-host backing you up because and everybody out your cast members, you make a mistake, you continue.
Okay. I study when I study acting is for theater. And
Hmm.
I did theater because I always said they I always was told that theater is the great thing, it's a real acting. However, the reason actors like the theater so much because they say there's a climax.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Build up.
Yeah.
You know,
So
And
you
it likes
eventually
certain things, but then of course we can't say it here.
right,
yeah.
right. But eventually you want to get yourself away from the theater to get yourself used to on camera?
Yes, I like both. On summer 2022,
Hmm.
I did a play in Orange County that won an Orange Curtain Award for original play. It's about how the Vietnamese American come over here, they're fishermen, and how they were harassed by Ku Klux Klan. And the
Hmm.
writers half Mexican, half Filipino. And when she read somewhere that the Ku Klux Klan were harassing people like us, and she said like, why don't they like you? But then again, who do they like? That's what she said. So
Right.
she wrote this play. It was pretty sensational. And it was tough too. I played the mother role, but nobody knows that I was a spirit until the end.
Oh,
And
wow.
I also play a guest, like a ghost role that to come to visit the family and something like that. And and some of my friends they walk in and say, "Oh, I didn't realize that you can do theater." I said, I have to start out training in theater.
That's awesome.
That's
See,
awesome.
I'm doing my first theater in February of 2025.
Oh,
And so it's, and I've never done theater before. I've always just done film, television, commercial. But yeah, it's just so different. It's so different. The actions speaking louder so everyone around you can
oh
hear
yes.
you. It's just bigger and it's kind of fun for me because I kind of act that way at home in a sense, but you know, but I think my question for you for advice to me, how hard is it to get through those scenes that never stop?
Oh, first of all, you have to be stay very healthy.
Healthy
Yeah,
here
you have
or here?
everywhere, everywhere. You have to eat right and be careful because once I did the theater with one of my good friend. I made him audition with me, and we both got it. But it was like his first major theater or something. He gained 15 pounds. I said, "What do you do?" He said, "Well, I get hungry, I eat, I work, and I get hungry, I do this, I do that." I said, "No, you have to be careful."
Yeah.
So you have to stay healthy, take vitamin, bring vitamin C. So some actors, I know she would have like a pouch of vitamin C and she
Hmm.
would like shove it down and drink the water.
Okay.
And I have some herbal. So when the lead got sick, I took some of my herbal tea and my tea with him. He just like shove it down and he would feel better. So you really have to have something like on the side so in case you catch a cold.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
because this particular theater, I'm playing two different roles. So that's really good advice for me to just stay healthy and just,
Yeah, take the vitamin C. You know the pouch vitamin C?
yeah,
I think you should get a couple box of that. Take them during rehearsal and
okay.
take before to prevent it and take them throughout the play, like every day, right before you come into the play. Or somebody even take the emergency 5 hours emergency or something because
Hmm.
she would call me up say, "Can you please go in the store and buy it for me? I'm here early, so I didn't get a chance." I said, "What's that again?" And that's how I found out about it. So I got it for her. And I said, "Oh, I think maybe I should start taking it too." She said, "It's not good to take it all the time. Not all the time."
I know you're talking about those 5 hour energy.
Yes. No, but
I,
I think he should take the vitamin C. You get a couple boxes of it.
mhm.
I know that they like $20, almost $20, something. I don't
Yeah.
know. But take them during rehearsal every day. You should take them every day anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For
And
sure.
then, when you are performing, you have to take them.
Yeah, because when you start rehearsing, it's a lot of hours, a lot of work, a lot of a lot of everything. So,
The one thing about those 5 hour energies I will have to laugh about is I did take one well, not accidentally, I did take it on purpose. And I was very surprised. Learn your lesson. Don't take it in afternoon because you can't sleep. So it's like by the time it's like 11 o'clock at night, you're like, oh no, I'm still wide awake. And you're still looking at the ceiling and you're like, why is this happening? And your brain clicks and it's like, oh, you just took a 5 hour energy. It's not even over yet, and you're like, oh well, might as well just get up.
Hmm.
But I bought my colleague, that fi- my colleague that 5 hours of energy in the afternoon. He wasn't feeling well.
But
Did
you
it
know,
help
one
her?
thing about those 5 hour energy, pardon me, is that actors love those because
Mm.
when you're sleepy in the afternoon or in the evening and you have to act all night till maybe in the until in the morning, it actually helps them. And and you know it's kind of I know it's kind of funny, but you hear stories about it and you're like, how did you able to stay up? And they're like, I just took one 5 hour energy, and by the time we were done screening, I went home and passed out. I said, what? And but in reality, they were like they're thankful because they were like, I were able to concentrate, memorizing my line, be on set, and do my role. And then when we're done, the energy was all gone, and you can celebrate and go home and sleep. So I think I, I don't want to quote myself, but a lot of actors take it when they're on set, maybe from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. because or 7 a.m. to like the next day, 7 a.m. all night, all day. And they're like, oh no, I need energy. So I do see, I understand what you're saying, Tiffany, because I think it really helps. Don't take it often, but it helps.
I also take these Chinese herbal that prevent a cold, prevent illness, but give you a lot of energy.
Hmm.
I take they don't taste so good because I used to take them to school at my job because when you work in the school system, a lot of germ flying around. And one
Oh yeah.
time, a colleague of mine, really had a cold, and I said, "Oh, we think you should take this." And he said, "Can I put honey or any milk, anything?" And then my other colleague said, "Well, maybe it's better if you take the plain one. That way it absorb better." He took a taste of it, start throwing tantrum. I need some honey and milk. We said, "Okay, go ahead." And the next day we realized that it said it's okay to take honey and milk. Oh,
Yeah.
also, you know what? This is when I was taking dance workshop, when I was dancing, taking a lot of dance workshop. I heard that the late Catherine Dunham had this big box of wooden things. She had all kind of remedy in it to save people. So one dancer, she snapped her toes right before the performance. All of that, and she said, "I don't think I could do it." And she showed the look to her, and she took out some cream. She said, "Just rub it in," and she did. And she said, "Now I want you to bend your toe," and she did. And said, "Bend it again," and she was okay. It's a secret, and then that's her secret. And another one, come down with the flu temperature, come to her and say, I'm like this. I don't think I can do it." And she said, "Okay, oh yes." She opened her cabinet. She took some white powder in a spoon. She said, "Open your mouth." She put it in her mouth, drink it with water. Within a few minutes, everything disappeared.
That's
Type of
kind of
magic is that?
Nobody know what it is, but that's her secret. She's
Oh,
she's no longer with us now, so she passed a while.
she's not.
I'll
The
be
dancer,
afraid.
Catherine Dunham, very pretty one, the
Hmm.
one that
Hmm.
she has a doctorate in anthropology, but she was nominated for
Hmm.
her research 60 something times in anthropology and an icon,
Wow.
famous
Wow.
dancers. And the sad part is her mother died when she was like 4 years old.
Oh.
Well, she had it really tough. So you know who she is, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, well, she was really more into you um yes, the herbs and stuff, but she was more into holistic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
She what happened was when she she's very beautiful. She's half black, half white. Her
Hmm.
mother was white, died when she was only 4, and her and her little brother and the father couldn't take it. You know how it is with men. He couldn't even work. He moved them into a project, housing project, because they couldn't afford their house no longer. He couldn't work, and I think he became maybe sick on, or addict or whatsoever. And it was very, very difficult living with him. She developed arthritis at 18. And her father didn't want her to dance. But she got her scholarship because she's smart. She worked really hard in school in
Hmm.
order to get into college so she can go away.
Get out of the projects.
Mhm.
Maybe get out from him, It's not, I
I
mean,
didn't want to say that, but
I didn't want to say that
no,
either.
they
So,
all pass away now. So, and she was lovely. Her brother, I think her brother passed away young. He couldn't, and it was tough, but she was so wonderful,
mhm.
beautiful, lovely, and one of the dancer, the gentleman, told me that when um, when my old girlfriend found your picture in my wallet, the picture when you were young, because she was really beautiful, like one of the most beautiful women in the world. The girlfriend wants to know who was she? Who's this? She said. And no matter how this guy explained to her, she won't believe. She said, your teacher? She won't believe. And when he said that, here she was, like 90 something. She sat on her wheelchair. She couldn't stop laughing. And now the dancer also said, like, I learned so much from you. I'm in my 70 and I still feel very sexy and very physical because of you. People couldn't stop laughing. So
Yeah.
her remedy, her secret is the best.
Mhm.
Just like when I used to dance, I have to be careful. I take my herb with me because in case something happened, and during rehearsal and everything, I would wrap my ankle, wrap my feet until the performance, until the time that I perform. I would remove all the support around my ankle, my feet, because in case something happened.
yeah,
That's the one thing I love about the entertainment industry. We all have this funny stories and funny moments, and you meet people that impact you, and you have all this positive energy, all this funny moments and memory. You're on set, or you meet them in person, or you meet them through Zoom or something like that. You have this positive energy vibe, and that's the one thing I love because it's like you continue on, and you're on set, for example, maybe for one day for this person, and then you don't see them anymore, but you always remember them. You're like, man, I want to work with them again. I want to work with them again, right? Or you hear stories of like, I'm gonna go with this because I still watch them. Friends, right? How friends remember their best moments on set, how many seasons even now, and they're like, they when they all run into each other, they all remember like, wow, we're a family. We're not married, but we're a family because we've been on set. We've been had our emotions, our anger problems on set. We've been all this stuff, but in reality, we're a family, and that's one thing I love about the entertainment industry because we have
Yeah,
this story and we have this bond, and we're here for each other. We're a family. That's one thing that touches me. It really touches me a lot.
but in the theater is more the bond in the theater even stronger. Like if you ask the
That's
actor,
that's
they
what I
said like,
heard. That's what I
oh,
heard.
their friends, the friends that they have, it's like belong in the theater. And when the play's over in the theater, people tend to get really sad. However, I was in this play. It's about domestic violence.
Hmm.
I did my doctorate thesis on it too, based on the plays. When it was over, we did it like several times. Each time it's only like 5 nights in a week, and we couldn't. When it was over, we would say, "I'm glad it's over," because it was painful. Even though we got a lot of feedback, people would come up to us and say like, "Thank you for your performance," because we play them, or
yeah.
or they come
Hmm.
up to my colleague and say, "You realize that you play us, but we live."
Hmm.
The other one die.
Hmm. Or still living with hurt and
Right.
pain.
Hmm.
You know,
100%.
I mean, And I think that's the biggest thing about film, television, commercials, or theater is like it tells that story that so many people are living in real life.
Hmm.
And that's what makes so many people who are sitting in the audience so relatable to what they are seeing and understanding like that's me. I went through that. They understand that, you know, we may be living in a fictitious way on camera. It may not be real, but there's people out here who are really going through this in real life. And
Hmm.
Hmm.
and that's how they're able to relate to it, or they understand how can I get through this situation by maybe they're watching this movie and it hits them in a different way and they go, okay, I didn't try that, I didn't do that, or maybe I should think that way or feel that way or whatever it may be. It's so
Yes, yeah,
that's
yeah.
the beautiful
Mhm.
thing about, I'm going off of exactly what Ryochi said. Exactly what's so beautiful about this industry is we're telling stories and acting out stories that people go through in real life. And it's a different perspective.
Hmm. You know,
You,
one
you, you
thing
know,
I wanna say real quick is that, like Daryl said, but when you have real life audience and real life people that they interview or they make movies about them, anybody, ladies and gentlemen, those people are emotional and they are thanking the actors and directors because they're saying, thank you for telling my story. Thank you spreading
Mhm.
awareness to my about other people about my story because then everybody's like looking at this and says, wow, that is me. This is what I'm going through. This is my story as well. Or, and it's so powerful and emotional that you're impacting the audience.
mhm.
That's like Daryl said, it's just so touching, so powerful.
Actually, I just saw a movie at the festival. It's a Vietnamese American film called A White Silk Dress.
Mm-hmm.
And the lead was there too. And it's a pretty sad movie. It's about during the war that they not only that you orphanage, you lose everything, but like even if you have somebody live outside of the area, they cannot give you anything because there's no mail. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Like if let's say that, oh, you said that, I lost my job, I don't have rent or food for the next month. Your friends can drive it over and your family can send you money. This is like they can't, even if they want to, they couldn't. And it was really, really severe. And the lead actress was there and they asked her, would she do this again? She said no. And she was great. It was so sad. And it's a story based on certain short story. And I know
Mhm.
they make it up because one of the story I remember reading it in Vietnamese literature when a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really sad. Like I said, like, gee, are they really that poor or something? What happened? And my friend said there's no communication. They're if they know somebody, they have somebody, they can't even send them a piece of cloth or anything.
Yeah, I
That's the
mean,
one.
Really
how
sad.
how grateful are we right now?
Grateful,
Yes.
How grateful are we right now in this
very
moment?
grateful. We have
Yeah.
roof
Exactly.
on our head, food to
Exactly.
It's
eat.
we
I
are
mean,
very grateful.
I
But
mean, there's so,
it, like you said, all three of us are agreeing is, storytelling, telling people stories. But when actors said they don't want to do the story again, it's not bad. It's not good at all. It's just saying, hey, it just it hit us to a core that it affected us. But like Daryl said, I want to say we are grateful. But we we are telling stories. This keeps coming back to me, my brain. It's just we're grateful to tell stories like this because this is what I want to tell our audience and everybody who tunes in that this is this is important that we're telling stories. It's, people ask, oh, is it affecting actors' life? Well, yes, sometimes because you're getting into their chemistry, their body and their soul. You're telling their stories that the actors are releasing their emotions, their anger, their cry, their moment. And that's why you have a lot of actors when they say cut, you don't see them get out of their role right away. They're still in it, they're still getting mad and angry, and it's like then that's when somebody has to come over and say, stop. You're not in there right now. Stop, right? And then when the scene's over, when everything's done, that's why a lot of actors are like, and actors are like, no, I can't do this role again because it affected me to the core. But I'm grateful that I made it because we're telling people stories. And that to me makes it emotional because I've seen so
Healing.
many films that make me
Mm.
cry. And
Yeah,
I'm sitting
very.
there, I'm like, wow,
Mm,
I can
mhm, mhm,
feel
mhm.
the pain, the emotion, the anger, their story, but more the emotions of what's happening in their life.
Yep, for sure.
Yes, it's also healing. And you know what is remind me of? I think remember Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart, her late
Hmm.
husband.
Hmm.
They met in certain movie, and one of the movie that they met, and they have a kissing scene. And people say when they say cut, those two are so attracted to each other, they didn't stop. So they end up married shortly after that, and
I
They
it
I
did.
worked.
remember, I
Yeah,
remember, I
it
think,
worked until death do them part. It's only
yeah,
12 years marriage or something.
yeah,
He got sick,
don't
and
don't quote me, but I think they just somehow they liked each other. But
and her mother was not crazy about it. You know,
oh wow.
he's a lot old. He was still married. He's not legally divorced yet. He was 20 something years older than her, and he was separated, I think.
Hmm.
But like you said, it's just that's what I love about the entertainment industry. All that we Daryl has a story about it. Tiffany, you have a story. I mean, I can't say anything because I'm not an actor, but I hear stories from people like Daryl and Tiffany and all the guests we have, their own storytelling of all the emotions and everything that everybody goes through. And when we go to theater, we watch movies on shows or TV shows. When you see these characters get so deep and they're crying, and it's like you try not to cry, but you start crying because it affects you, and it's like, wow, why am I crying? And you're thinking, oh, I'm getting emotionally affected to the scene now. I'm there, and but to me, it's really chilling, but it's really happy because that's what you want as an actor, right? If I was an actor, that's what I want because you want the audience to feel it. You want the audience to know and say, hey, if I'm going to use Daryl for example, if Daryl's crying, you want Ryochi or whoever to cry as well, and hoping that he is affecting people. And that is, we as entertainment industry, we are here to tell people stories, and that is what I love about this. So it's amazing.
And you know what? Life imitate art, art imitate life, and sometimes it tells the story for people to learn, but people don't learn. And, I mean, it looked like it tell the story for you to learn. Like remember this film with Meryl Streep and Alex Bowen, Divorce with Benefit? You know, I
Hmm.
got into that film, but I didn't take it. You know, I couldn't. I was too busy. And how it said that he left her for a younger woman. Well, I met someone upstate New York once, and him and his wife, they're like contractor, and he's a contractor and she's a chambermaid, and very lucky that they want us to move up there because I think that they like us because they more or less like we're one of the very few couples staying married for a long time, and this is what he said to me. He said, no matter what he's smart. When he was a teenager, he take one look of his wife. He said, that's my wife. That's going to be my wife, and they work things out, but it's tough, but they work things out. And he also said that he had a lot of friends, male friends, would leave their wife for someone younger. And he said the problem, what they went through, is not worth it. And 100% of the time, it never works. Never works.
It's not supposed to, guys. I mean, why did it work with this person? Because they got to know each other. They spent time understanding one another. They
Hmm.
developed something. And when you go through that, where you leave this person and immediately get with this person, that's not there.
Yeah.
So there,
Just like in that movie, the Divorce with Benefit, he left her. And then the younger woman cheated on him, have another kid, and she want him to have another kid with her. And but he take all kind of medication, so he couldn't have kids, so he couldn't produce.
yeah, I mean, but enough of that. Tiffany, what do you have in store going forward in your amazing career that you can tell us about? And I'd like to finish with anything positive that you can tell our audience about the industry, what it takes to be a great actress in today's society.
Well, it's not today, it's any day. If it's not like they're born with talent or anything, they might have they might have some kind of a sense of being in front of the audience. They have to be trained. You
Hmm.
delude yourself. If you
Hmm.
think that you can jump in, if you are a performer now, like a dancer or a singer or something, it's very hard for you to just jump in and do it. Maybe you can do a musical, but if you jump in and you do something that's highly emotional and for a long period of time, you need training. Just like my one of the film I was in called Anxious, it's going to a lot of film festival now. Oh, by the way, in that film, in the scene, the talking scene I was in, I only have one fighting scene. The couple of them, it's me without line. But the fighting scene, something happened. I forgot my line. So I make up something. And she thought it was great. So she decided to keep it, but it was pretty funny. In the scene, I was fighting with these two men, they're Middle Eastern. And guess what? They both are real life physicians. But they play, they play a business guy next door to me, and their music or something was too loud, and I'm the snob one. I said like, I'm selling fine clothes over there. I have a master degree in fashion merchandising, and he said, big deal. I have a half a bachelor degree from Cal State, and I forgot my line. I said like, you Asian and you have half a bachelor degrees, and you're proud, and it was kid.
Who has half a degree anyway?
When he said
Right.
half a bachelor degree, he went to school. That means he went to school 2 years or something like that.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yes, yep. Me.
Tiffany, where can the audience connect you and find you on social media?
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, even LinkedIn.
Lincoln.
LinkedIn.
Well, Tiffany, thank you for coming on the Red Carpet Roundtable podcast. We appreciate you coming on, and Daryl and I, we appreciate it. Everybody, don't forget to follow Tiffany and also follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and YouTube.
Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
Tiffany, we both wish you continuous success in your career. And we
Thank
definitely
you.
would like to hear about any updates in your career. Please share
Oh,
them with us and anything that
yeah.
you may have going on.
What's going on now is Blue Blood is on streaming episode 1207, and What Doesn't Flow is on Prime and on YouTube, beside under Antoine picture number filter 90211. I think I have a film called At the Table. That's a short one, and I was in the last one called Bitter Melon. And
Okay.
a long time ago, when I was still living in New York, one summer I did Sentimental Adrift. I played the mother, a drug addict mother at the end. So
Nice.
it's on
Nice.
YouTube.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
thank
we will definitely
check
check
it out.
out
Thank you
everything you have
so
going
much.
on. And if you don't mind, please, we definitely want to start sharing people's stuff on our page. So if you would like to share your video from YouTube, please tag us in it. We'll share it on Red Carpet Roundtable for other people to view.
And you can do the same. Like this interview, you can share it on my profile on Instagram, right?
Yes,
Yes, we
Ryoji
can.
will.
And TikTok too?
Yes, yes, we will. And
Okay,
of
okay,
course,
great.
once it's out on Apple Podcast and Spotify, please share and follow us.
Yes.
Will do.
Thank you again, Tiffany. It's been an honor.
Thank you. The pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much. I wish you two the very best.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
It
much.
really means a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.